Hello, my name is Mitya, and today I'm going to explain what is new in LightAct 4.8. In short, we have an entirely new way of mapping the content, which now allows you to map the content on your virtual objects much faster, and it's way more flexible. Assets here now fully support asset versioning. We have a brand new index manager, which allows you to much more easily control your LightAct with a DMX, with incoming DMX from, let's say, LightAct console. And we also support PJLink now when it comes to projection tools. The best place to start would be, however, layer templates. So we've massively increased the number of them. So here you have them, the content group, the generative category, control category, and you also have a nice little search here bar. So if you just type in what you want, for example, gradient, you can simply insert it here very quickly. Okay, so now we are coming to the very flexible new way of mapping the content. So we've introduced an entirely new connection type. It's called mapping, and here you can see all the video screens that you've already inserted in the viewport. So for example, I can render it to here, I can render it to the other one or whatnot. I can also select all of the throwers that I've inserted into the viewport, and also all of the canvases. And what's great about this is that you can control the status of this, the state of this variable by DMX, or even through curves like so. So this allows you to very easily adjust where your content is going on the fly. Another thing which is very useful is that all of these templates that you see here, all of the templates that render something to a mapping, have a very similar structure of the variables here. So it's very easy to adjust things from layer to layer. For example, it's another thing that it's very new, and I think you're really gonna like it, is the fact that all of the blending on a video screen, for example, in the viewport is now executed on the object itself. So you can easily mix and blend textures coming onto the screen from various sources. For example, this gradient texture is coming onto this video screen through a thrower, whereas the color grid underneath is coming from from being directly mapped to the directly mapped to the video screen. Also, what's new is that we've added this auto rename checkbox, which basically allows you to very easily see where your content is going. You see the name of the layer changed. And as always, if you double click on the layer, you'll see its layer layout. So if you want to learn about the nodes, exploring the layer templates is definitely the best place to start. Before we move on to other topics, I would just like to remind you of the various ways that you can really work very quickly. So for example, if I have a canvas here and I drag it onto the layer, its mapping variable is going to get assigned to the canvas that you dragged. So immediately your content appears where you want it to. If I drag it like so, then the mapping is going to get mapped to that video screen. And since I have the auto rename checkbox checked, you can immediately see where also in the layer's name where you want it to go. where the content is going. So I dragged the thrower to here, and the only thing I need to do is do this as well. So please explore all of these options because they are very, very useful. The next feature I want to talk about is called asset management, asset indexing, and asset versioning. Let's say you have two folders on your drive. One is 000 intro and the other one is 001 Cs. In this one, you have two versions of the same file, V0 and V1. And you could also, instead of V0, V1, you could also use numbers, and ABCD, and so on. And I have, in here, I have two different files. One is 000 Seas and Clouds, version 1, and the other one is 001 beach underscore V1 as well. So I'm just going to select both of these folders and drag them into the software. You see that the structure of the folders was replicated in LightAct with the numbering as well. And if I select this one, you see that here I can easily switch between the versions. So that's a major new improvement in workflow, where you won't have to import new versions of the same files and reassign them to the layers and so on. The other one that's very useful is called Index Manager. So if you labeled the folders which are turned into what we call collections and the files of the assets, you can easily use Index Manager, and you can use autofill, which fills the collection, index collections, and fills the slots here, and taking into account, respecting the numbering of the folders and of the files. So because I have color strips in 000, this has turned into the 00 collection. And if I select this one, in collection 1 you have two assets, 0 and 01, and again respecting the naming of the folders and the assets. So let's see how I can actually use these things in the layers. So I'm just gonna hold I and left click, which is the shortcut for the image layer template. So please make sure you know these shortcuts, because they can really fasten your workflow. And the idea is that I don't have the DMX console connected, but here, because I have the 16-bit DMX flag enabled, and if I, for example, where is it, DMX in, just drag it like so, you see that the asset which is going to be displayed by this layer can be controlled through DMX, and the first channel is going to be the collection, and the second channel is going to be the slot in this collection. So with these two improvements, we believe it's going to be much faster. You're going to be able to achieve your results much faster. The same thing applies to other types of assets, both image, video, 3D model, audio, notch blocks, and Unreal, and also, which is also very important, to mapping. So if you have a mapping that you want to control through DMX, you can just select it like so, select autofill, and here you have all the mappings properly distributed across this first collection. So it's very easy to, using DMX for example, to control where this image layer will be mapped to. The last new feature I want to talk about is PJLink, which is now fully supported, so you can just open it through the Tools top menu. If you click Scan Network, LightAct is going to start scanning the network for any projectors, and at the moment we have 2 here, and you can control their status through the commands. You can select which of the virtual projectors is going to be what we call the twin, and if you select one of them, you can click override, and then the data, the settings of these projector is going to be copied from the real projector. So if you have a lot of projectors in your setup, this way it would be easier to match them to the virtual ones. Now there are a lot of other new features that I didn't mention in this quick video, like a new thumbnail window where you can see these things, a lot of bug fixes, a lot of other minor improvements that I'm sure you're going to discover yourself. There is also a more detailed changelog coming in the next few days.